So, with the Philadelphia Eagles offense hitting rock bottom, and now the pressure is boiling over in Philadelphia after another embarrassing performance against the Chicago Bears, all eyes are set on one man, and that is offensive coordinator Kevin Patullo. So, in today's video, we're going to be talking about how the Eagles offense collapsed and why Patullo, and rightfully so, is taking the heat, and whether this Bears loss could actually get him fired or somehow by whatever crazy shit makes him survive for another week. So that being said, let's kind of get right into it. So if anybody has seen how this passing offense has been going up to this Bears game, there's a lot of terms a lot of people are using. It's vanilla, robotic, not a lot of go routes, not a lot of faded routes, especially to your number one receiver in AJ Brown. And AJ has made it kind of clear, and especially how he's acted, the fact that the offense can never get going. And a lot of times too, and that also falls to Kevin Patullo and whatever these route trees that he's doing or is scheming up, especially with this Nick Sirianni playbook, it's not working. And especially with their loss against the Bears 24-15. It's one of those reasons, and one of the reasons why that AJ has made it clear of where the problem stands, even without even saying it, because, we all know where this all stems to, and that's back to Kevin Patullo. Here's a question for y'all. Do you believe that the Eagles are going to fire Kevin Patullo after this Bears loss? To me, I don't think they will. For whatever reason, the Eagles just has this tendency to hang on to coaches towards the end of the year before making that change. And to see how Kevin Patullo is performing as the OC, at some point, the front office has to see that. And clearly, in the sense of what Kevin Patullo is doing with this offense, especially you have number one receiver in AJ Brown, a wide receiver two in Smitty, a great running back in Saquon Barkley, but Kevin Patullo, for whatever reason, can never get these guys open, can skim these guys open, or scheme any blocking patterns to the point where Barkley can burst off for 5-10 yards. And it's getting to the point where it's like enough is enough. And seeing how this offense has been operating up to this point, I'm surprised how it has never not pulled the trigger. Now, what would the firing mean to the Eagles if they do fire Patullo? Well, it sends a message to the front office if they do this. It's basically saying, this is a Super Bowl roster, but this offense is not Super Bowl caliber, the way how Kevin Patullo is running this. If they don't fire him is what I'm, in a sense. Now, with the new play caller coming in, potentially, obviously more in the offseason, it definitely will allow Hurts to, whoever is coming in, and we'll talk about some of the options, especially one in particular we're going to be talking about in just a bit, that, will allow Hurts to use his legs more depending on what the situation is. It will lead into what the Eagles have been known for the last couple of years is the run game. And it will also help dial explosive plays early instead of waiting, which we have seen week in and week out with this team, instead of trailing. And definitely will bring a fresh new voice into the locker room, and hopefully at the same time, we'll make adjustments to make this offense unpredictable, which is probably the biggest key word, is unpredictable. Now, for those who are wondering, who could be this option I might be speaking on? In particular, I would say in relation to Jalen Hurts, another guy, one guy I would say has a great connection with Hurts is Brian Daboll, former head coach of the New York Giants, who has gotten some great games out of Hurts when he was with Alabama. And everybody has seen how Brian Daboll has operated with Jackson Dart in terms of quarterback development. This is something I think could really help Philly, obviously in 2026, at least to have not predictable offense will help get the run game going. Like, there's a lot of things Brian Daboll can bring to the table. Because that's just, for me, is probably my number one option. But at the same point, it also begs the question why Kevin Patullo got the position in the first place. And to be short and sweet, Nick, it was pretty much Nick's call on being that buddy crap, for lack of a better term. I would say Kevin Patullo, for the most part, granted, yes, he's been the coach for a long time. I don't think he was. I think he wasn't ready to be an offense coordinator, and it's really showing that he's over his head on how to be a play caller. Trying not to be fucking predictable. I mean, like I said, there's a lot of things Eagles Nation can talk about regarding Kevin Patullo. So it seems to me, I think going into the next week, I don't know. It's going to be crazy the fact that Kevin Patullo, despite the loss against the Bears, somehow is going to survive another week. Now, if say next week if the offense it gets worse of what we're seeing, there should be no hesitation for this front office to, I would say, pull the plug on Kevin Patullo. And it's going to really show going into next week, and especially the next handful of games that the Eagles will be playing. It isn't going to be easy, in a sense of how this, especially when you're looking from this team from an offensive perspective. Now, I do think the defense is going to bounce back going into next week. I'm not too worried about the defense, but it's the offense is concerning. Like I said, if this gets worse, Howie has to pull the trigger. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So, that all being said, what do you guys think? Whether you're Eagles fan or not, should Kevin Patullo be fired? Let me know in the comment section down below and kind of give me your reason. And that all being said, this is Robert from the Sports and Wrestling Connection. This will be signing out. Have a good day.